Hi, round two, trying this again. So earlier I did a video on how to do, and I'm going to try to adjust this so I keep looking at it. Is that better? Earlier I did a video on how to do monograms on a budget, and as we all know, the silhouette cutting machines are quite expensive. We're talking like $229 to $299. So if you want to make a monogram and you want to get it all nice and straight, and you want all of the lines to look like it was printed, but you're working on background paper that you can't actually print through the printer, like cardstock or whatever, there's a couple things you can do to do on a budget. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the technique that I developed during 2014, 2015, which is a household items method. It's basically you use a piece of background paper. This is 140-pound watercolor paper. You need a piece of glass from any frame. I just robbed this out of a dollar frame. So you have a glass. And the last thing you need is a lamp, a light bulb that works. Oh. And what you do is you just use this Lightbox. Now, it's not the best method, obviously, because you're using things that weren't designed for this purpose. But if you don't have a $200 or $300 cutting machine, and you don't have a Lightbox, or you can't afford one, and all you've got is glass, a pen, or pencil, background paper, and a lamp, then this is a perfectly acceptable way to do it, and I did it for at least a year, maybe even like a year and a quarter. So let me go ahead and show you how I do this. It's pretty weird. Actually, I want to check the stream. Hold on for just a second. I just want to make sure it's streaming. Oh, look, it's streaming. Yay. Okay, so the first thing you do is you turn the light on. And you get blinded. And you're going to want to put it down on your surface. Now, you're not going to get the best view of this because obviously you're going to get a lot of glare. But all you really got to do is you need to print off a letter. So if you got a printer, most people do have printers. So print off a letter. Get your glass out. Put your glass down on your lamp. Put your letter down on the glass. And then put your background paper down on the letter. And what you see is that you get an outline. Or maybe you don't. It's hard at this angle. You get an outline of the letter. See the L here? That you can then trace. So what you do is you take a straight edge. This is from a quilting supply. And you're just going to go in here and set this on the edges of where the letter is. You're going to obviously get it lined up the way you want it. Trace the line, move it up. I don't know if you can see this. Trace the line. Trace it. Curves you have to do by hand, so I'm going to curve the edge there. Do it with really faint pencil marks, and then you can erase it later. Or if you know what color you're going to outline it with, you can always use like a colored pencil in that color. Colored pencils have a wax base though, so you want to be careful with that because it can actually resist the glue when you put it on. I made that mistake once. So then you go on and you finish up all of the rest of this letter. It doesn't take very long. You can move the paper around on the light bulb as you work. You can call this a poor man's light box. I did this so much that I stopped using a straight edge. It was just easier not to use a straight edge anymore. So you go there. Oops, I turned this on by accident. Stay off. I'm going to go over here and do this. And that down there. Okay, so let me turn the light off. There, we're back. And you'll see that we've got an L, and it's nice and straight. So as opposed to freehanding it, and the freehand, of course, you'll get wavy lines and stuff. So you can, using a straight edge gives you a much more accurate line. But this will give you a nice, precise, and typographic looking letter as opposed to doing it freehand. Freehand, of course, freehand is best for curvy, wavy things, obviously. Straight stuff, you should be using a straight edge and a pencil, and this will make it nice and crisp looking for you. So let me bring it up here a little closer. You can see that. So then all you gotta do is, you can go in and cover this directly, is what I used to do. Or you can erase it and just go by that little faint line that's left behind as you erase. You can use a really hard lead. This is just a crappy office pencil, but you can use like a really hard lead so it doesn't leave a whole lot of graphite behind, so it's a very faint line. The only downfall of this is that you can't do it with dark backgrounds. If you use it on a dark background, of course, the light's going to shine through, it's going to hit the dark background, and it's just going to reflect or absorb into it. It's not going to actually allow it to work. So that's pretty much all there is to the Lightbox. You could obviously do what Cheryl Kleiman-Henga, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Cheryl, I apologize, did. I think that you could build a box around a little lamp like this pretty easily. That's what I think. Especially if your husband is ambitious and handy with a saw. I didn't feel like having a big glumping box laying around the house, so this worked better because I could just use it as a lamp afterwards. I could bring it to the bedroom, stick it by the bed, and I suddenly got a lamp. I can take it out, and I can use it for quilling, and I can make monograms. So that's what I do. Okay, so this is the essentially free method. All you need to work with this is a printer, which most of us have. The next method would be if you have a little bit of money to invest in a device that allows you to do this more easily, but not the $200 or $300 investment of a cutting machine. So this one is the next step up as far as your finances are concerned. And the tool that I recommend for this, or similar, is this right here. It's called whoops, it's upside down. It's called the XP pen. It's actually a device that is used to read x-rays, and artists use it to trace with. And let me turn it on here for you. It's LED, it's very, very bright, and you can control the brightness. It's really bright when you first turn it on. There we go, look at that. So you would put an x-ray up to that, and then you could see all the goings-on inside your human body. Or if you're a quiller, you can put a letter on this and use it as a light box. The nice thing is, and I'll turn this off here, it's flat. See how thin that is? So it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's made out of like a really hard plastic. It doesn't, I mean, it unplugs. It's LED so the bulbs don't burn out. And it's compact. And they cost about $50. So on Amazon, I think that you can get the smaller 8x10 ones for about $39.95. This one is a bigger, I think this one's like 10 by 13 or something like that. This one was $49, and you can get an even bigger one for like $89. It just depends on how much you want to spend. But with the LEDs, you're going to have it last for a lifetime, and you don't have to use it just for monograms. You can do it for pictures too. Supposing I'm trying to find a picture here. I don't have anything on hand. What's this? No. Alright, here's my pea fish. Suppose you wanted to trace a picture like that. You would stick it on your light box, on your and you see how you can see through it. You can just trace over that. Don't trace other people's work, but if you have a valid use for it, then you can use it for photographs and illustrations and other things like that too. So the method for the light box is the same as the light bulb. All you've got to do is turn it on, you set your letter that you've printed onto the surface, and it's very bright, so it penetrates the white. The dark letter behind it doesn't get light against it, so it shows through. Again, you use the background of your choice. It's going to probably have to be a lighter color for this to work effectively. But you set it down, and look at that. It's an L, and it shows through perfectly. And then all you got to do is get your straight edge, and you come over here and you trace it out. It's much quicker on the Xbox, on the Lightbox, because you got a flat surface you can work on. You're not holding a light bulb up the whole time you're doing it. You can use like painter's tape on this so that you don't have any slippage. I find that the only problem with this is slippage. So yeah, you're going to want to tape your stuff down. And finish this up, and you can see how quickly this went. It's really, really rapid between the time that you start tracing out the monogram and the time you complete it. And you'll get good at the corners or the curves. There we go. Turn it off. And we have a perfect L. $50 or $39.95, whatever Amazon offer you can find. Or you can do it for free, but it's a little more difficult. So, anyways, hopefully this is going to help you make monograms. Of course, monograms are a wonderful gift. They're very fun. I think that they're great for weddings and anniversaries and birthdays, you name it. So I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope that it helps you out. You can show me any comments, questions, or suggestions in the section below. And I guess we'll see you next Saturday night. Start thinking of other things that you'd like to talk about then. And maybe I'll get this whole live cam thing figured out and it won't be quite as difficult. Thanks so much. Have a good one.